Justice League issue 30, Scott Snyder and James Tynion IV writing with Jorge Jimenez on the art. So, we got the Return of the Legion this week and Superman.
Yep.
We also end this book with the Return of the Justice Society.
Yep.
And I don't know how this will fit with Doomsday Clock, if
It
at
won't.
all.
I'm telling you now, Doomsday Clock is no longer continuity.
Semi-continuity. I don't give a shit.
No. That's fine. It's no longer the official DC. It's not what it was planned to be. And I don't know if that's a case of it was delayed so much and they were like, we can't hold back this that long, and they just went ahead, or if some of the delays are editorial changing their minds and went, you know what, we're doing it in Justice League now. Sorry, Doomsday Clock, change your plans.
Doomsday Clock's the best thing DC's put out in the last 3 years, and I'm going to maintain that.
Oh, I'm not disputing that. I'm not disputing the level of quality. It's a phenomenal book. I'm just saying I think it is no longer the continuity landmark that it once was supposed to be.
It annoys me, you know what? Because this is nowhere near as good as Doomsday Clock. But anyway,
I like this book a lot, and I will agree with that.
Yeah, it opens with the Justice League fighting Apex Lex, and Lex essentially wins and beats them all. And Perpetua's risen. Is like Doom is coming. It turns out no, this is Starman explaining all this, showing something that he saw in the heart of the hyper time.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, who are they talking to? Because the Justice League are all behind them. And it's like, no, we need more recruits. And then you see the big page of all the the B-listers and so on.
Yeah.
That's fun.
It's a great page.
That's a pretty solid page. Here's a question though. So Green Arrow and Black Canary are standing next to each other, and not just in the full page with the big group shot, but also on the next page there's like a panel with just those two. Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Green Arrow end with them like breaking up in a very kind of bad way?
I think you might be wrong.
Am I?
Maybe? I don't know. It's been too long.
There's definitely a breakup element. I mean, maybe they kissed and made up at the very end, but
There was. I'm wondering if it was more of a. For certain, I remember it maybe being like a ruse they were going along with something. I don't know.
Someone remind us what happened in Green Arrow issue 50, because clearly it's causing some so the issue is victim to some Snyderisms that really wind me up. It is overwritten at points. We have lots and lots of exposition, and the annoying part is that a lot of it is kind of redoing explanations we've had before.
To an extent.
Don't get me wrong, it's packaging it in a way that's maybe more. It's almost like they're expecting people to just pick up this arc because they've been hyping it up.
To be fair, they have been saying this is a jumping on point to people.
Yes.
So.
Yes. Good luck with the explanation of all these various energies and shite. If you've not read any of this before,
I assume one of the panels I think you probably hated was the bottom half of the next page after you see all the B-listers. And it's it goes through all the different forces, spectrums, whatever else there. It's I love that panel with the silhouettes of the heroes and the way it's shaped and the symbols. Yes.
No. So basically, Starman's got a plan. He's detected parts of the totality in the future and the past. So he's going to send some of the core Justice League to the future, some of the core Justice League to the past, and all the B-listers are there to defend the Hall of Justice. And Mira and Hawkgirl are going to go with the World Forger to try and find the Anti-Monitor. So everyone's getting their positions kind of roped up. And Perpetua is awake. She is talking to Apex Lex. There's a very similar page to earlier on where we see all the villains that he's amassed. Much like all the B-listers earlier. And I'm just saying B-listers to basically just distinguish between the main Justice League and everyone else.
Basically, only the Justice League in this scenario is an A-lister. Everyone else is below.
But in reality, I mean, like Shazam, for example, I mean, he's borderline. You could kind of...
Borderline. Green Arrow is probably on the
I would say Shazam and Green Arrow and even Supergirl and Batgirl are more A-list than, like, Hawkgirl. And I don't mean to upset any Hawkgirl fans. I just mean in terms of, like, perception and hierarchy and popularity and so on. So here's a question: These villains look a little bit funny, some of them, and I'm assuming this is because they've got like tech and stuff from Lex, from the gifts and all that jazz. Because you see like the Aqua or the Manta Mech or whatever it was called in the background.
Yeah.
Harley looks ridiculous. So there's a
Well,
cat.
to be fair, that's Mecha Harley. I'm assuming that's what she's called, given that she's half robotic from the chest down.
Her shoulders annoy me. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, but if you go from like stomach downwards, it's all mecha stuff.
Sure, but there's a Catwoman standing next to her, right? We're agreeing that's Catwoman of some kind.
I agree, it's Catwoman. I suspect it is not Selena.
That's a fair assumption. That would make sense, because I don't understand why in a million years Selena would go along with any of this damn shit. Because I know in the past that we've played with her, oh, she's kind of a villain and blah, blah, blah.
Can't do that right now.
Yeah, I can't imagine why they would do that right now. And I also, like, I don't see how, like, I've not read the recent issues of Catwoman. I don't know what Lex offered her or whatever, but I don't know, it just doesn't really jive with me.
It doesn't track. And I agree. I'm assuming it's not Catwoman, not Selena, until I'm told otherwise. I mean, if someone tells me it is, and there's stuff been going on that we've been out of the loop on, it's kind of weird for Batman's story, and that we're doing a Batman and Catwoman book in like 3 months' time. But yeah, continuity be damned, eh?
Yeah. Also, Deathstroke's got like a mech suit as well.
Where's that?
Right in the middle.
Oh, I see him. I just kind of looked over him. Yeah.
Yeah. Not a giant mech like the Manta one, just a mech suit. It's more of an Iron Man-esque kind of thing.
To be fair, I actually quite like the design of that for Deathstroke.
They've actually got the Legion of Doom have got a mole in the Hall of Justice, and they know what their plan is, and like so, oh, let's go show them what to do then. What we find out though is that they've actually manipulated the time stream so that when Starman sends back the teams to the future and the past, they end up in sort of different versions of the world that they weren't expecting to hit, possibly on alternate Earths or possibly on versions of the future and the past that now exist because the Legion of Doom.
Some things have changed.
Yeah,
I suspect that more than alternate Earths in this case.
Obviously Jarro's delightful as per usual.
Oh, Jarro, to tell all those future Robins who the coolest one is. I mean, me, Jarro.
Yeah, so in the past, and it's like the 20s or whatever it is, New York or whatever, well, it might not be New York, I mean, it's DC, there's lots of cities this could be, but it's, it's a city, it's a major city in the sort of 20s era, has giant, Doom symbol flags draped everywhere.
And it is New York, John does say it is New York.
Oh,
he recognizes the skyline.
And then in the future, it's because the future's the Trinity, because it's a Green Lantern and Flash.
Yeah, I actually thought that was a weird choice to pair them off like that. Like, don't get me wrong, like I like having a Flash and a Green Lantern pairing. It's a traditional pairing. It just seems weird to stack your three strongest together and not even out a bit.
But they were into Commandy in the future, so they've went pretty far into the future. And
I will say, worst bit of art is on this bit in the future. Wonder Woman's face. I don't understand.
It's a triangle.
It is. It really is.
It's a triangle.
It's particularly bad.
The page with Commandy is pretty good though, with the
big tigers,
the tiger people behind them. Yeah, and I'm not a Commandy, but I've never really read any Commandy. I don't know anything about.
I've read one Commandy story.
Yeah. I think I might have read like a short in one of those anthology specials, maybe at one point.
Probably,
but that's about it. But so I actually thought that was the last page when I was reading this. I was surprised when I flipped the page that there was more stuff. I was like, oh, that wasn't the last page?
Because that felt like a big last page reveal. Like, don't get me wrong, maybe we don't care that much because it's Commandy, but it's still a big enough thing to end any normal comic. And
then there's some energy blasts, and then a green energy like around the Green Lantern and Flash.
A green flame in particular.
So the actual final page is the JSA, and it's you in
got, their prime.
Yeah, you got Alan, you got Jay, you got Wildcat there, Sand, Our Man.
Yeah.
Fate, yeah. Well, and a Hawkman as well.
Of course, yeah. I mean, obligatory though, right? He's always there.
Yeah, no, it's just GSA in the Prime. So I don't know, maybe this is going to spin into an actual GSA book. I mean, I don't know if they've said that. I don't think they have yet.
Not officially, but I would not be surprised.
Yeah. I mean, because I'm such a fan of Johnsy's GSA, it is a shame to me not to have that legacy element and have like the younger characters.
There's no reason that they can't. It could be a case of, we're establishing it here now in the past and reminding these characters that this actually happened, and it's kind of going to become continuity again.
Okay.
In the same way they've been playing with all of Rebirth, and they can still do the legacy stuff.
It might. That's a frustrating issue in Justice League. I like the gist of what the opening's doing. I do think it's far too exposition heavy. Same with the Lex and Perpetua stuff. The villain stuff wasn't necessarily doing much for me. I do like the back half of the issue a lot, though. The reveals when the plan actually gets going, because once the plan actually gets going, they stop writing so much goddamn narration and dialogue and just actually do the story. And surprisingly, it's actually pretty fun when they just do that.
Yeah, I mean, I quite like the first half issue. I like seeing all the other characters interact a little bit more. I'm always down for throwing in some Guy. And
I got lost over him.
Was cool too. Yeah. And I liked those panels that you particularly hated. I think with the actual explanations. I love the art in the background, especially. So I like this more than you, unsurprisingly, as usual.
As usual, yes. This is the second last book I read, and I always end up leaving Justice League till near the end because it does always end up being wordier than almost every other book I read. Honestly, it does feel a bit of a chore at times to get through it.
Oh, this was the first thing I read.
And yeah, those 2 pages of exposition with all those narration boxes, just too much.
On the other hand, Jaro, when he's like, oh, what am I gonna do? And stuff. I was treating him like kids. Like, Jaro, you're president of the plan. I was like, you bet I am.
Yeah.
I love it.
You know what? We're about to read it, right? And I hate that. I hate that the issue with the JSA like splash page where they're back. I hate that I'm not like glowing and praising about the whole issue. That kind of sucks because
that should have been next issue of Doomsday Clock's moment.
It should have been, but it should have also just been like a really big deal. It should have been something where I came out feeling super hyped about. And as it is, I think this is like a 7.
Oh, I'm giving it an 8.5.
You can dog yourself out. I'm giving it a 7.